My name is Jared James. If you aren't familiar with me, I'm best known as an entrepreneur that gets the unique opportunity to coach and train agents and brokers in the real estate world and speak at conferences in front of thousands of people. But it wasn't always that way for me. What separates me from so many others is that I've actually done everything that I want you to be able to do. For that reason, this is the place to come if you want to learn the strategies needed to succeed in today's marketplace. This is the Jared James Today Show. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of the Jared James Today Show. The great news is that we did episode 1 where we talked about what should a new agent be doing, and as I said, we're going to come out with a product for that for you guys, actually detailing exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it, what to say, all of that kind of stuff. But we said we'd keep doing the show if you guys enjoyed it, and based on the reaction and the amount of response that we had and the number of people that have written me on Instagram and Snapchat and YouTube and Facebook and all of these places, you obviously enjoy this, so we are going to keep doing this, which is really cool, guys. A lot of really cool things in the works too. We just ordered the equipment to do a podcast. We're talking about doing a daily vlog where you actually follow me around and see what's going on. Although we're trying to come up with name ideas, so if you have something, let us know. We're trying to build everything around that Jared James Today thing, right? So we don't know if we're going to do like Jared James Today, like literally today with that. I don't know what we're going to do, but if you have an idea, snap me at Jared James Today on Snapchat. Let me know what your idea is. Today, though, what I want to talk about in episode 2 is something about, I get a lot of response about this. How do you break through in your real estate career? How do you grow when you feel like you've hit a plateau? And by the way, that plateau is different for every single person. If you've followed me for any amount of time, you know that I think that everyone has different potential, okay? I can play basketball every day for the rest of my life, and I'm never going to be as good as Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Stephen Curry. I have a certain plateau of where I can go. And business is no different. Some people, their DNA, Jeanette, they're just made to be entrepreneurs, and some people have to work harder to go to different levels. So your plateau may be $75,000, which might have to do with your ability level. It also might have to do with your price point, right? I mean, there's different factors. So understand that this applies to everyone. You might have plateaued at $500,000, and you don't know what's going on, but you can't go any further. So let's talk about what you do. I'm going to talk very quickly about 10 different things that you can do that are going to help you break through a plateau, okay? Number one thing you can do, and this is something you hear over and over again, if you've hit a plateau, chances are you need to implement systems, okay? Now I want to make this very clear. Out of these 10, all 10 may apply to you. 2 of them might apply to you. But when you're in a plateau and you feel like you can't go any further, sometimes it's one thing that makes all the difference in the world. If you're stuck on the side of the road and you have a flat tire, it doesn't matter if someone brings you all the best tools in the world. It doesn't matter if someone gives you the best advice in the world. There's one thing you need at that moment, and that's air, okay? And so all of the 10 might apply, or one of them might apply. But find the ones that apply to you and do them if you want to break out of your plateau, okay? So number 1, you might need systems. I say all the time, anything that you're doing more than 3 times now requires a system. This is an industry, let's face it, real estate, generally type A personalities, generally people who think other people can't do it as well as they do, and generally people who are very busy, this is how they are. And so we avoid systems sometimes because, in essence, in one way we like to feel needed, that we're doing everything for our clients. It makes us feel useful. It makes us feel relevant. But it also keeps us from doing more business. So you may want to look at, and we have previous videos on our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, where you need to be implementing proper systems in your business so that you now have the time to do more things that actually create business. We call them your butts, your best uses of time, the things that actually create business in your world. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go through this. But the number one thing you may want to look at is systems, okay? Develop systems. Number two reason why, a way that you can break out of a plateau that you may be in is to hire and delegate, okay? This one is very difficult, again, for people with the type of personality traits that are in real estate. But here's the thing. If you're in a position where you're asking, should I hire an assistant, or when should I hire an assistant? I generally find with our students and the other people we work with, the moment you're asking that question, you're probably there. The right time to hire an assistant generally is right before you actually need one. Because if you wait until you're completely overloaded and now you can't do anything or whatever, the problem is you're going to hire somebody and then you're not going to take the time to actually train them and spend time with them and show them what you need and tell them what you need and communicate. And I've found that a lot of times when you're frustrated with people you work with, yeah, it could be their fault, but you have to look at yourself first and say, maybe I'm not giving them what they need. Maybe I'm not communicating in the way I need. So the time to get one is usually when you're thinking about it. It's right before you need them. The other thing is when you're talking about hiring and delegating, especially in this case when I'm talking about an assistant taking some of that workload off, when you're asking yourself the question, well, can I afford one? The thing you have to remember is that the role of an assistant is not what a lot of people think. Most people think, especially in real estate, when they talk about an assistant, well, I'm going to give them all the crap jobs, and I'm going to have them do all the paperwork and all the stuff, and that's what they're going to do. And there's a part of that yes, they do take that off your plate, so you can go be the rainmaker and go create business and be face-to-face and shake hands and kiss babies and do these things. But if an assistant is really doing their job in real estate, they're making you more money than you're paying them. Because now what happens is that they're actually taking over those marketing campaigns that you learn in programs like mine and other people that are out there as well that actually create business for you that you never would have had. So maybe time to hire, maybe time to delegate a lot of those things you're doing. Number 3, it may be time, it's 2016 here, to form a team. Different people have various or varying ideas about what a team is. Sometimes when you hear team, you think of that 50-person one that you know of and they're killing it and whatever. And for some of you, that's for you. For a lot of you, that's not the case. A team is, go look it up in the dictionary, viewpoint of what a team is. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. Your team could be very simple. It could be an assistant, a marketing person. It could be a couple of buyer agents. Just something that's going to make your life a lot easier, and you're going to start to function in a way that you get a little piece of your life back. Because let's face it, if I were to ask you, why did you join this industry? Why did you get into real estate? There are common answers that are out there. One of the most common is people say things like, well, I wanted to have flexibility of schedule. I wanted to control my own time. And my response is always, well, how's that going? Okay? Because this industry has kind of like I don't know if cannibal effect is the whatever, like you go in and it's just like, I'm going to take control over this, and then it just eats your whole life alive, and before you know it, you don't want to do anything because you're afraid that, this person's going to need you and you're not going to be there. You're afraid to go on vacation. You're afraid of all these things. And so, yeah, you have flexibility of your schedule. You can do what you want, but you know that there are also consequences if you truly did what you wanted to, and that's a problem, right? Maybe you need to start to delegate, you need to get an assistant, you need to implement systems, you need to start looking at the idea of forming a team, but forming it the right way. You know what I'm thinking? Maybe one of our current or one of our future episodes, maybe next episode, we actually talk about how you develop a team. Like, what should it look like? If you're interested in that, let us know. Shoot us a message. I'd love to hear if that's something you guys want to hear from, because I see them formed all the time incorrectly, and then people go, well, I don't want a team. Teams suck. Teams are no good. And it's like, no. The way that you did that was no good. You built a car with square wheels and then said the car doesn't work. Okay, that you need to know exactly how it should be formulated. So maybe we'll talk about that. What's another way you can break through a plateau? Make some more money, do whatever. Another way is to actually go into a higher price point. Now, usually when I hear somebody talking about going into a higher price point, it's at a moment when they shouldn't be going into a higher price point. Like, they haven't mastered the price point that they're at, they just want to make more money. That's not usually a reason. That's like going into the speaking world, like what I do, speaking at events, because you want more attention or because your daddy didn't give you enough love. That is not the reason to go into speaking. Just like going into a higher price point, the reason is not just to, because you're tired of this price point. It's because you've actually mastered that and you have something to offer to the higher price point. But one way to break through a plateau once you're at that point is to go into a higher price point. And you can do that through your marketing. You need to look at your website and what it looks like. Who is it attracting? You need to look at what kind of targeting are you doing on Facebook and other places. Are there income levels you're looking at? Are there areas and zip codes you're going into that are a higher price point? You need to look at all of these things, but it's a great way to break through a plateau if you happen to be in one. Number 5 thing you can do, change up your routine. I use exercise examples all the time because they're just so relevant. They just make sense. We get them. But if you go to the gym every single day and you do the the exact same exercise, you are going to hit a plateau. And so you have to, anybody will tell you that you have to change up your routine in order to confuse your muscles. It's the exact same thing in your business. If you are doing, and I'm a guy that preaches patterns, preaches all these things, but I also tell people you got to switch them up, otherwise you're going to become bored. And when you're doing the exact same thing every single day, and when you hear me talk about blueprint in some of my videos, I always say, like, here's the main idea of a blueprint, but it has to change, but these are the main things you're doing. I don't believe in doing the exact same thing, the same time, every day, whatever, because although the theory of it sounds good, I also understand that we are people. And remember, what differentiates me from so many people you're going to listen to is I've sat at the dining room table. I've sold a ton of real estate. I've had to create business. And so I know that we need our pattern changed up. Otherwise, we get bored, and we can still technically say that we're doing the same thing every day and we're doing the right things. But there is a difference. I used to say there's a difference between going to work and going to work. You may be at work, but you may be able to fool everyone else around you. You may be fooling your coach. You may be fooling your broker and the people around you. But you know that you're not fully invested, that you're not fully into it anymore, that you're not. And so sometimes we have to change up our pattern just to add a little life into what we're doing and getting passionate about what it is we're doing and having fun again and doing those kind of things. And we're going to talk about that in a second as well. Number 6. And I mentioned this in our last episode as well. Make sure you go check that out. But you want to get more lines in the water. If you've hit a plateau, there's a lot of different psychological reasons. We've covered some. We're going to cover some more. But a lot of times it's just a lack of potential business coming in. You don't have enough lines in the water. You are, as I always say, the water, the path of least resistance, that you're only going after referrals. You're just waiting for your phone to ring. Generally speaking, if you want more business and you have the right systems in place and you've got a team and you've got all these other things in place, you're able to check all those boxes. Generally, I find you don't have enough lines in the water. You don't have enough potential ways for business to be coming into you, whether it's through internet or whether it's through prospecting or whether it's through referrals or your core 100 or direct targeted marketing or open houses or leads from your brokerage or your company or whatever it happens to be. And we have plenty of videos on that you can go check out as well. But you need more lines in the water because you need more opportunities, or as I call it, you need more at-bats to hit more home runs. Same kind of a thing, okay? So you need more lines in the water. Number 7, you need to connect your why with your job. Because when you connect your why it is you actually do what it is you do, all of a sudden there's more passion involved with that, right? I gave an example at an event I was speaking at recently, and I said if I was out in the middle of a run and I was 2 miles away from my house and for some reason you just don't have it and I just can't run anymore and I'm done and my kids were home alone and I just decided to walk home because I couldn't go another step because I'm just so tired and I just don't have it today, and all of a sudden one of my kids called me up and said, "Daddy, so-and-so, my other son, stopped breathing. I don't know what to do." Are you telling me I would not have the energy to run home all of a sudden? I would sprint fully the whole rest of the way home and not even think about it. Why? Because I know why I'm going home. I'd connect the why, which would give me energy, which would give me passion to get, which would give me the same thing happens in your business. We get into this industry for very specific reasons. We want to help people. We want all these kinds of things. But then we confuse things like purpose and calling. And we want to have purpose in what we do every day. And I want to know what's my purpose for being here. And we can't fathom the idea that it's our purpose to sell homes. So we're like, well, in the scope of things, what's this really matter? And over time, we lose our passion. And yet the truth is, I think you need to figure out what it is you're passionate about, what it is you think your calling is, what it is you think, and then you figure out how you're going to get there on purpose. And selling homes is one of those things, right? It's my calling on this planet to help more people reach theirs, to get closer to theirs. How I do that, what I do on purpose to get there, is I shoot videos like this. I speak at events. I write books. I write articles on our blog, on our site, for Realtor Magazine and these other places. I do a lot of these different things on purpose that get me closer to the calling, the thing that I'm passionate about. That's how I have passion. And so you have to look at your business and say, what is it that I'm passionate about? What is it I want to do, whether it's a charity or something you want to do with your family or whatever it happens to be, and then make the connection and go, me selling a lot of homes, if I do that on purpose, gets me closer to that thing that I'm passionate about. it gives me the revenue to be able to do the things that I'm passionate about. And now when you do that, you all of a sudden, ding, 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 have passion for what you're doing every day, selling homes again, because there's purpose around it. Does that make sense? Okay. And so that's what some of us need to do within our own businesses, whether you're selling homes or whatever you happen to be doing. Number 8. If we want to break out of our plateau and make some more money, we need to start tracking our time, okay? All of us, whether you're you, me, President of the United States, whatever it happens to be, you have 1,440 minutes in every day. And what's unique, or what's really the same about every single one of us, whether we're making 50,000, 5 million, or 5 billion, is we all use those minutes, right? For none of us, it's not a matter of, oh, I only got 600 minutes today. Crap, what am I going to do? We all use every minute in the day. It's just a matter of how we are using those minutes. And you may be able to tell yourself, I'm extremely busy. I've hit a plateau. I don't understand. There's no more time in the day. But I promise you, I mean, like literally, I wish I could follow you around. I don't really, because that would take a long time. But if I could, for the sake of this video, okay, and I could follow you around, I promise you, I would find a ton of waste in your day where you think you're working, you think you're doing really productive stuff, but the truth is you've fallen into patterns when you don't even recognize what you're doing anymore. It's kind of like, have you ever driven the same way home every single day and you do it every day, and all of a sudden one day you look up and you're like, what? I don't even remember turning the car. Like, when did I turn this vehicle? You don't even remember. You do it so many times you don't even remember the stuff you're doing anymore. That's what's happening in so many of your days right now. And so we have to start tracking our time and figuring out where it's actually going. And then we need to get rid of the bad and replace it with the good. Get rid of the waste and replace it with the best use of time, right? Because you can't go into something and say, okay, I'm going to get rid of this because this isn't productive. But then you don't have something to replace it with because something's going to replace it. And if you don't think of something to replace it with that's good, something equally as bad is naturally going to do it. That's human nature. It's kind of like if you're trying to lose weight, you don't cut out burgers, but then replace it with a cheese hot dog, or a chili and cheese hot dog. It does no good to take one away and put the other in. You've got to take away the bad, replace it with the good. So find your bad habits, find your wasteful things that you're doing, and replace them with more lines in the water, more structural things for your team, systems being, whatever it may be. You've got to start to look at it, though. You've got to focus on it. You've got to track it and measure it and see what's actually going on. Number 9, make sure you have a personal life, okay? Many times we don't do as well in business or we hit plateaus because we don't even recognize it, but we're not happy in our personal life. We are lacking in other areas and it starts to take over in our business life because we're not happy there, and because we hide it and it's underneath, when we go to work, we're not able to act happy. We're able to, in front of people, act happy, but we know the truth, and again, there's no passion there. There's something about passion when you're doing something that makes you do it better. And so because we're not happy in our personal life, because we know we're neglecting the things that actually matter to us, because we know we're missing out on parenting, because we know that we're not doing a good job in our relationship, because we know that we've neglected our friends and they don't even know who we are anymore, because we naturally don't do as good in our business life because we're just not at our peak potential. We just don't feel full. I shot a video this morning on Facebook Live on my personal profile, not my fan page, and I put it on Instagram as well, and I think I said something about it on Snapchat as well. And I talked about how you never want to give up what's unique to you for something that someone else can do. So you never want to give up something that's unique to you, such as, it is unique that I am the father of my 2 boys. It's the only thing in my life that is 100% completely unique. I was chosen for those 2 boys. They have my genetics. They are unique to me. I can choose my spouse, I can choose my friends, but they are unique to me. You never want to give up what's unique to you for something that anyone else can do, your job. Most of you, if you leave your job tomorrow, someone will take your place. And yet, in most areas of your life, you are giving precedence to your job because you're chasing the next deal, you're scared to death of losing it, and you're missing out on the things that are unique to you, and you don't realize it, but in the end, it's actually affecting how you perform at work, right? So you're an amazing vehicle, you're a Lamborghini, whatever, that hasn't had its oil changed in 5 years. So it may be an amazing vehicle, but it's not performing at its best. Number 10, last but not least, but also very important if you've hit a plateau, and I can tell you this just from personal experience, some of you need to hire a coach. We're a coaching company. We have one-on-one coaches, and we help tons of people all the way from the beginning stages of their business to some of the top teams in North America. okay? And we know that the value that comes with that, the accountability that comes with that, the strategy that comes with that. Maybe you don't relate to my personality, there's another company. But for some of you to go to the next level, you need to hire a coach that is going to drag you, who's going to call you out for your stuff, that's going to see things from a different perspective, that's going to implement new strategies that you hadn't even thought of, that's going to help you get to the next level, because professionals of every area have a coach that teaches them, shows them, and holds them accountable how to get to the areas that they want to get to. Okay, guys? So those are 10 very quick things that are going to help you if you've hit a plateau, no matter where you're at, how to break out of that plateau, make more money, be able to fulfill that need to grow, one of the 6 basic human needs, the need to grow. Fulfill that basic human need that I think will help a lot of you. Guys, if you're watching this, share it with someone that you think it's going to benefit. If you're interested in our coaching, go to jaredjamestoday.com. You can fill out for a one-on-one consult. I think at this point I still do most of the one-on-one consults, so I'd love to chat with you and see if it's an option. Make sure you connect. You can go to jaredjamestoday.com/connect with Jared. Connect with me on all the different spots. Let me know what you thought of this. Leave a comment below. And by all means, subscribe on YouTube, guys, because there are more of these coming that are going to be helpful to you, okay? Have a great one, guys. I'll see you on the next episode.